deep in Frankfurt's Judengasse ghetto in 1764, as Prussian cannons rumble on the horizon and a 20-year-old coin dealer named Meyer Amschel Rothschild haggles over rare metals in a cramped stall reeking of tallow and terror. His fingers trace a gold eagle from the Holy Roman Empire, whispering to a shadowy Prussian prince's envoy, "This isn't just metal. It's a key to kingdoms." What if this peddler's bargain, sparked by a chance meeting with William IX of Hesse-Kassel, and woven into a web of 5 sons dispatched like spies to London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt, didn't just finance the Napoleonic Wars, but created a banking dynasty so vast it controlled 50% of Europe as sovereign debt by 1820, amassing a $500 billion adjusted fortune that birthed myths of puppet masters, pulling strings from wine chateaus to world wars? Hold your breath, because the Rothschilds weren't mere moneylenders. They were Europe's invisible emperors, turning family letters coded in Yiddish from safe houses to smuggling gold across battle lines, debunking conspiracies of global control, while their loans toppled thrones and built empires, leaving us to wonder, was it genius or the greatest gamble on blood and bonds? That 1764 deal explodes into destiny, Mayer's stall evolving from trinkets to treasury, William Ix entrusting him with £600,000 in Hessian coins by 1785. The American Revolution's debts funneled through Rothschild discretion, Mayer's quill-forging bills of exchange that cross borders like ghosts, his wife Guttel, the rock in their 10-child hearth, birthing sons amid ghetto curfews, the air thick with anti-Semitic whispers, and the clang of ghetto gates locking at dusk. By 1796, Nathan, the bold third son at 19, bolts to Manchester's textile mills, dodging French privateers to ship uniforms for Wellington. His letters to Meyer, a cipher of cotton and conquest. The redcoats need red coats. Send the thread. The Napoleonic blaze of 1803 ignites the web Meyer smuggling. 500,000 gold francs across the Rhine in wine casks for British agents Nathan in London, leveraging family ties to underwrite Pitt's war bonds at 5% yield. £9 million raised in 1815 alone to crush Napoleon at Waterloo, the family's courier system sons on horseback relays beating Napoleon's couriers by day's news of victory, wired to London markets before Wellington's dispatch. Stocks soaring 40%, Rothschild gold flowing to fund the coalition. James in Paris, post-Waterloo buying French indemnities at 75 cents on the dollar, flipping for 20% profit. A 5 sons houses a pentagon of power. Amschel anchoring Frankfurt. Salomon in Vienna, bankrolling Metternich's congresses. Karl in Naples, greasing Bourbon bribes. Each branch autonomous, yet chained by Mayer's 1812 will. United we stand, divided we fall. His death at 68 a thunderclap. Guttel outliving him by 32 years in the ghetto's grip till emancipation in 1811. The stakes surge with the 1820s restorations, the brothers' consortium underwriting £20 million in Prussian loans at 5%, interest alone $1 million yearly. Their London house Nathan's fortress issuing bonds that stabilize Europe post-Napoleon. The Suez Canal's 1875 £4 million bailout for Disraeli, a Rothschild masterstroke. Lionel, the first Jew in Parliament by 1858, paving the way. But shadows lengthen. 1830s Belgian independence financed with £1 million at 4.5%. The family's courier birds carrying sealed packets that make or break markets. Myths birthing in Paris salons, where James's opulent dinners with Talleyrand fuel whispers of Rothschild plots. Anti-Semitic pamphlets like The Rothschild's Red Shield, spinning tales of world domination. Yet reality bites harder. The 1848 revolutions, crushing Vienna and Naples branches. Solomon's flight to Frankfurt with trunks of bonds. Karl's death in 1855 from gangrene after a carriage crash. The family's pivot to rails. Financing the Nord Railway in France for £25 million. James's Chateau Margaux, vines a velvet glove on iron loans. Nathan's 1836 death at 59 from an abscess, a rift, Lionel stepping in with British poise. The Crimean War of 1854, a $50 million windfall in Turkish bonds. But the human pulse throbs beneath. Couriers like the legendary Rothschild Pony Express, risking lives on muddy roads, Jewish networks in ghettos funneling intelligence. Gödel's 1849 death at 95, a matriarch's farewell. Her tomb in the Judengasse, a symbol shattered by 1938 Kristallnacht. Tension peaks in the 1870s unification frenzies. Alphonse de Rothschild in Paris, underwriting Bismarck's indemnity bonds at 5%. $1 billion raised to ransom Alsace-Lorraine. The family's global grid, a nervous system, pulsing with pipsqueak agents in Constantinople and Cairo. Myths exploding with the 1875 Suez coup. Disraeli, a secret midnight meeting with Lionel, borrowing £4 million at 3% to snag 44% of the canal. Headlines screaming, Rothschilds buy Egypt. Fueling forgeries like the Protocols of Zion that paint them as puppet masters engineering wars for profit. Yet the brothers debunk with deeds. The 1881 Russian pogroms, prompting £100,000 relief funds. Edmund de Rothschild's $50 million in Palestinian vineyards seeding Zionism. The 1890s South African Diamond Wars, where Ernest Cassel, Rothschild ally, backs Rhodes, but the family hedges with De Beers stakes. The 1900s a forge of family fires. Wilhelm II's Berlin court, courting Alphonse for loans amid Dreyfus affair hatred. The Titanic's 1912 sinking claiming Benjamin Guggenheim in first-class finery. His last toast. We've dressed up for dinner, so let's go down like gentlemen. A tragic coda to the copper veins that funded his folly. WWIA whirlwind of $1 billion in Allied bonds. The London house underwriting $500 million for Britain. Myths raging with Rothschilds, funded both sides. But ledgers lie. Neutral in the trenches, profiting 20% on war floats. The 1917 Balfour Declaration, a Rothschild nudge via Walter's Zionist plea. The empire's $500 billion, adjusted peak by 1920, a colossus of 15 branches. Chateaux in France, palaces in Vienna, but cracks widen. Intermarriage with European nobility, diluting blood. The 1930s Nazi rise torching Vienna offices. Louis de Rothschild ransomed for $21 million in 1938. The family's flight to New York and London. World War II, a shadow war of smuggling funds to resistance. Victor Rothschild's MI5 code-breaking a secret front. The climax crashes in the 20th century's Cold Wars, the family's pivot from bonds to ventures. The 1950s oil stakes in Iran, via the National Iranian Oil Company, $100 million flows Evelyn de Rothschild's. 1970s marriage to Victoria. Shot sealing the line, the 1980s junk bond boom, with Michael Milken alliances netting $200 million. But scandals sting. 1990s Baron David de Rothschild's environmental fund, a greenwashing veil on fossil bets. The 2000s financial crisis, echo of 1825's panic, Rothschild Co. Advising on $1 trillion mergers. The family's $20 billion net today in trusts like the Rothschild Foundation. Funding Yad Vashem memorials amid Holocaust ghosts. Myths persisting in QAnon webs claiming Rothschild space lasers. Debunked by Forbes audits of their $2 trillion. Adjusted historical sway. The Chateau Lafite vines yielding $1,000 bottles. A vintage testament. Ethical reckonings in 2020's day pledges. Jacob Rothschild's 2024 death at 87, closing the 20th century chapter. His Waddesdon Manor, a Renaissance jewel of Rothschild art hoards. The dynasty a web woven from ghetto grit to global grace. 5 sons' legacy, a loom of loans and legends that binds us still. The Rothschild Chronicle, from Frankfurt's fenced shadows to global galleries. Unspools finance's phantom thread. Peddlers' coins coining empires, sons' secrets stringing sovereigns. Myths melting under $500 billion math. A web that warns. Power prints in invisible ink. If this weave of whispers and wealth weaves into your wonder, subscribe to trace more threads with me. We're unraveling history's richest rugs as one. Next, the Renaissance's poisoned palate. Cosimo de' Medici's Florence banks funding popes. From art's opulent oils to intrigue's deadly draughts, influence echoing in modern luxury's lavish lies. What web would you spin in your world? Thread it in comments, and we'll tapestry it true.